What's up, guys? Today we're going to learn about dry fasting. Yeah! Why dry fasting? What are the benefits? Well, first, let's start off by saying dry fasting basically has all the benefits of water fasting, right? Just to keep it simplified, if you've done any research on water fasting, well, it has all those benefits just kind of intensified. And so, for example, one of those is ketosis. Yes, ketosis is great, especially if you're trying to lose body fat. What ketosis is, in case you don't know, is when the body burns fat for fuel instead of carbs. You tend to get more energy, and in the process, you tend to lose some unwanted weight, which is pretty cool. So ketosis, overall, pretty cool, minus the bad breath. But if you have a clean diet, you don't even get a bad breath. Anyhow, when you dry fast, the ketosis is intensified even more because you're not introducing any water into the body. By the way, guys, I am not a doctor, okay? I've done all this research myself. So everything that I say, if you're like, this guy's full of shit, just Google it. The information's out there. That's how I got it. Now, I'll try to put some links here depending on how I feel, if I'm lazy or not. I may put several links at the bottom under the description, so keep a lookout for that on some of the science behind what I'm saying here. But ultimately, yes, guys, do your own due research before jumping into all these things. And if you have any questions, you can comment below as well, and I'll go ahead and answer. Anyhow, your body goes into ketosis, it burns fat for fuel. Now, because you're not introducing any water into the system, it has to create its own water as well, and it does so by actually converting your fat. And they say for every 100 grams of fat, depending on your body can convert that into 100 to 110 grams of water. And because it's far easier to do it with fat, and it can convert more, it can make more water out of fat than it can with muscle. Your body tends to go for the fat first. Your body's not stupid, so it goes after whatever is most efficient, which is your fat. So for fat loss, it is quite great. Just keep in mind, guys, like a lot of people look for like easy fixes and like the magic pills and stuff. Keep in mind, you can do all this dry fasting, you can do water fasting, and you can lose weight. But really, if you don't change your diet, if you don't have any lifestyle changes, you're gonna eventually gain that weight back, and what's the point of just fluctuating up and down? If this gives you the motivation, that's great, but don't just use it as something to depend on. The next thing is autophagy. So, and I don't know if it's pronounced autophagy or autophagy. Everybody seems to pronounce it differently. Whatever. Yoshinori Osumi actually won the Nobel Prize in 2016 in physiology for discovering this. And autophagy, in Greek words, actually, auto stands for self, and phagin, that's Phagein, translates to eat. So self-eating. And what it is basically, if you imagine at the cell level, it just becomes survival of the fittest. The weakest cells, the damaged cells, they all tend to get broken down and recycled for energy because you're not giving your body anything. Your body has to create energy out of somewhere. And it goes after these weak cells, these damaged cells, and it'll turn it into energy, basically. So it's great because for healing purposes, you can get rid of quite a number of sicknesses and illnesses just by dry fasting and by dry fasting long enough. There's actually a guy, I don't agree with everything he says, but I digs him, the snake diet guy. You can find him on YouTube as well, but he vouches hardcore for dry fasting, and he's had a lot of followers, gotten rid of a lot of stuff with dry fasting. I mean, we're talking AIDS, we're talking other autoimmune disorders and diseases. So, I mean, the list goes on. Another thing that it does is, this is a theory of mine, but I believe it makes the body more efficient, you know? Once your body gets used to not having food, it has to become more efficient to survive. And so you may find after doing several dry fasts, it may be very difficult for you to ever become dehydrated, you know, in the regular sense, going about through your normal day, doing even intense exercises. You can go longer without water now because your body's used to it. So at some level, it's like training your body to become more efficient. So that's cool. Stem cells, it's crazy the amount of increase in stem cells that you'll find with fasting and dry fasting specifically. So it strengthens the immune system significantly, and it gives you a mental clarity, you know, because so much energy goes into the digestion process, and you're not digesting anything, you know, your body's completely clean, it's free to do whatever it needs to do. So it tends to go to those areas that it's been ignoring for a while, that needed attention, that needed healing. Now it has time to go there, you know. So one of those byproducts is more mental clarity. Your mind seems to be more clear, your focus, your concentration. You have a more serene, more calm state of mind when you're dry fasting. There's emotional release that goes on as well. Now, a lot of people believe that water doesn't hold a memory. Now, if you do some research on that, there are a lot of studies coming out that say otherwise. But whatever the case, there seems to be a lot of emotional release that can take place during a dry fast. And that's because the deeper water in your cells, not only are we made up of 70%, depending on what study you're looking at, 70% and up of water, our cells are made up of even more water. And there's some deeper waters in there that have been there for years and years, which tend to be more stagnant and don't move out. But when you're dry fasting, because you have no water and your body is pulling water out from there, from these, you know, these deeper waters that are stagnant, memories that were contained there, deep-rooted emotions, things like that can actually become released. So if you do feel any intense emotions, don't be surprised. That's actually a good thing. That means some emotional release may be taking place. So that's always nice. And then the thing that not many people talk about is the spiritual aspect of this. Because your vessel's clean, there's a cleaner signal with whatever you want to call it. I don't want to get religious, but the divine, God, whatever name you have for him, or even just nature, just that kind of something that we all know gives life to life itself, you know, that what keeps us all connected at some level. You grow a bigger sense of that. And so in every religion, it's not a big surprise that they all talk about fasting as well. So if you are religious, you may find that dry fasting will definitely make a stronger connection with you and God and the divine and just the spiritual in general. So those are some of the benefits of dry fasting and why you should do it. And if I forgot anything, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below. I'll go ahead and answer. And if you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe. It's funny I'm saying this. I always used to make fun of people that did that, and now I'm doing it. Anyway, love you guys. Peace.